On TaylorvilleDailyNews.com's Facebook and on WTIM TV YouTube, brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. And People's Bank and Trust, they put people first. Well, I have Macon County Conservation District on the phone, and just because it's fall and it's a little bit colder doesn't mean that there's not a lot to do outside. There's tons to do in the Macon County Conservation District, and Senior Program Naturalist Brock Rowland is here to talk about it. Great to have you back here, Brock.
Yeah, thank you for having me. We really appreciate, anytime that we can come on here and talk about all the really fun things that we have to offer to the community.
Including this weekend, you have an event coming up that you guys have been looking forward to for quite some time.
Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite events that we have. This is our annual Fall Harvest Festival. So come out here with the kids coming up this Saturday from 1 to 4, October 22nd. We have a whole bunch of fun things that you can do. We have 3D archery, we have canoeing, we have a hoop toss game. This year, we're even going to be offering concessions. So if you get a little bit hungry, and you want a quick snack, we have some hot dogs and chips and drinks for you as well this year. So that's something that we're really looking forward to doing. Some of the things that we do offer do cost money, like our canoeing and archering. So that's only $3 though. And last year, our pumpkin painting was so popular that we actually ran out of pumpkins within the first hour of the event. So this year, we've made it one of our prime concerns to get double the amount of pumpkins that we had last year. So we have tons and tons of pumpkins for pumpkin painting also, and that's $3 as well.
And that's this weekend starting Saturday, right?
Yep, and that's this weekend starting Saturday at, from 1 to 4.
Sunday too, or just Saturday?
Just Saturday. Okay. Yep. We also do offer wagon rides as well, which is really fun to get on one of those big old wagons and kind of just get a narrative tour of the conservation district.
Is that a horse-drawn wagon ride?
No, I wish. That'd be really fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
No, we got a big old tractor.
That's still fun.
Yeah, the kids absolutely love the tractors too. So they're not complaining whether it's a horse or a tractor. They all like it.
Well, weather looks fantastic too for this weekend. Sunny, not too cold.
Yeah, this is supposed to be in the mid 70s. So we're really looking forward to it, considering the 31st, I've heard rumors of that's when our first snowfall is supposed to be. So
really? Ooh, what an interesting Halloween that could be.
Yeah, it was like that a couple of years ago too, whenever our first snowfall was on the 31st. And it's always pretty weird to see all these trees out here covered in that fine snow that we get for the first time of the year.
I know a lot of times for your programming, you offer live entertainment. What about for the Fall Harvest Fest?
So no, we're not going to offer any sort of live entertainment or anything. That would be something that would be really fun to do, definitely in the future. But we are offering some demos of old spinners with their wheels. They're going to come out and they're going to do a spinning demo. And our Homestead Prairie Farm, that's actually going to be stocked kind of, I guess you could say, with entertainment. We'll have some archaeology going on, so where you can kind of sift through some of the soil that's been brought from underneath of the old farmhouse and kind of sift through that. We actually found an old metal toy not too long ago, so you never really know what you're going to find whenever you're sifting through that soil.
Can you describe this metal toy?
Yeah, it was a really thin metal ship, and so I think it was like just from like a layer of that toy. But a lot of those toys back then were made either of wood or metal and stuff like that. They didn't have the plastics that you see around today. So it was really interesting that we actually found an old toy from who knows when. Right. Hopefully we'll be able to figure that out here within the next few weeks. But it's just exciting stuff like that you never really know what you might find.
That was going to be my first question, if you knew when it was from. But that sounds like that's coming here pretty soon. Maybe next time we'll talk about that.
Yeah, they also found a bumper of an old car too, which
like a full-size bumper.
Pretty weird. Yeah, it was like a small little like frame that went on it.
Huh.
So it's really interesting stuff. So I love going down there any chance that I get.
Right. You also mentioned the spinners. I'm having a hard time picturing that. What is that?
So what this is it's a old spinner's wheel.
Okay. Oh, like for
Um,
weaving.
yes, for weaving. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it sure is. So they'll come out there and they'll do a little live demonstration on how they set up that tool and how that was used.
I have very faint memories of my aunt having an old spinning wheel, and let me tell you, it's pretty cool. If you
Yeah,
guys ever get
they're
to,
really interesting tools.
yeah, and they'll be out there this weekend, right?
Yep, they sure will be.
All right. And MaconCountyConservation.org to find more information about this event, right? And many other events too.
Yep. You
Awesome.
got her.
Including your homeschool programs.
Yeah, so within this last month or so, we've decided to start offering some homeschool programs for the local kiddos. This is for anyone between the ages of 5 to 15, and what we do is we kind of sort them out by different age groups. So we have our 5 and 8-year-olds together, our 9 and 12-year-olds together, then our 13 and 15-year-olds together. Last homeschool program we did was all about the prairies, and we actually were able to have one of our natural resources people come out and do a short little prairie burn. So it's just a way that we can do some really fun outdoor activities that most people don't really get the opportunity to see. How awesome is it to actually go and see a demonstration of a prairie burn?
Yeah, could you characterize what a prairie burn is? I don't think I've ever seen one.
Yeah, so what this is that, our state is called the Prairie State, right?
Of course.
If you were to travel back in time about just 200 years ago, over 60% of our state was just covered in prairie grass. This is this really tall, 8-foot tall grass. Well, nowadays, you can really only find this prairie grass at conservation sites, um, which is kind of sad to think about because nowadays there's only about 0.01% of the prairie left. So for us to have the name Prairie State, it's kind of weird that most people don't know about the prairie.
Mhm.
Um, so the prairie is a really cool habitat. Lots of animals love to hide in it, use it for defense against predators, for camouflage and stuff like that. And it has tons and tons and tons of your local native flowers, which your local insects truly love because that's what they are kind of programmed to deal with, the flowers in your area. And so prairies are a wonderful habitat for tons and tons of animals. But one thing that you have to do with the prairies in order to initiate kind of a healthy environment is every so often you have to burn that prairie. So whenever you burn that prairie, we have our natural resources guys come out in full protective gear, and they kind of just go around the prairie and they set it on fire. And that gets nutrients back into the soil, and it also gets rid of a lot of invasive species that we don't want growing in our area.
Interesting. I've heard of something similar with forest management, but I never realized that prairies had to have the same thing done to them too.
Yeah, they sure do. And we also burn our woodlands also for that
Right.
exact same reason.
Right.
Yep, and the flyers are normally so slow going at first that a lot of the wildlife know how to escape. So it's really a really safe way for us to get out there and manage our local resources.
Anything else that you'd like to say about these homeschool programs? Maybe information on how to pick one up?
Yeah, so you can register for our homeschool programs through the Macon County Conservation District.org website. Just go onto our events page and you should be able to see our reservations just right then and there. We are offering a few more homeschool programs throughout the year, and our next one is coming up on the 25th, and we're going to be learning all about migrations.
Fantastic. Let's
And
see. Oh, go continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
oh no, it's okay. I was just going to talk a little bit about how the structure is laid out for those. Really, it's really hands-on, and that's something that we have tried to do with most of our programs anyway, is to bring some sort of hands-on element. But for our homeschool programs, we like to do activities, games, crafts, and we'll even go outside. And so we like to really explore integrating both indoor and outside elements to our education.
I think we may have covered this, but just kind of going back to the start of it with your Fall Harvest Fest, do you have to register? Is there a registration fee?
No, you can just show up that day.
All right, and that's coming up this weekend, Saturday, at which of your sites?
So this is going to be at the Rock Springs
Understood.
conservation area.
From 1 to 4, show up and have lots of different stuff. Senior program naturalist Brock Rowland here on the WTIM morning show. More from him and all the great things going on in the Macon County Conservation District in just a moment here on WTIM, your information station.
WTIM. The markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn, beans, and wheat all trading lower at this hour. December corn 676.5 down 7. March corn down 7 1/4, 682.5. May corn 683.5 down 7.5. November beans 1369.5 down 15 3/4. January beans down 15 1/4, 1377.5. March beans 1385.5 down 14.5. December wheat 843.5 down 17.5. March wheat down 17, 861 3/4. December bean meal $400.80 down 10.20. December bean oil up $1.03, 67.87. The livestock market, October feeders 175.10 up 35 cents. October live cattle up 27 cents, 148.15. December lean hogs 84.97 up 2 cents. In the energy market, November crude oil 83.48 down $1.98. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
At Golden Harvest, our best skill is knowing how to listen. From our Gold Series soybean and game-changing corn portfolios to our expert insights housed in the Illuminate digital agronomy platform, everything we offer is an answer to what we've heard from you. This is how we listen.
Copyright 2021 Syngenta. The trademarks or service marks used herein are the property of a Syngenta Group company. All other trademarks are the property of their respective owners.
Where do ghosts sleep? In the Booge Room, of course. And they sleep great on their all-new Bemco Arctic Breeze and Max Life mattresses from the guys at Just Beds. This month, twin Bemco mattresses $149. Queen mattresses just $229. Spooky good deals and a great night's sleep from the all-new Bemco Arctic Breeze and Max Life mattresses. As always, free delivery to your Booge Room, setup, and removal. Visit the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds on Montvale Drive, Springfield.
Just Beds.
If you're craving that pumpkin spice flavor this time of year, your farmer-owned dairy, Prairie Farms Dairy, has just the ticket. Right now, you'll find Prairie Farms Dairy pumpkin spice-flavored milk that provides the protein you and your family needs. And oh, does it taste good. As the leaves fall and the seasons change, enjoy Prairie Farms Dairy pumpkin spice-flavored milk, available in your grocer or convenience store's dairy case. Another protein-packed product from the farm families of Prairie Farms Dairy.
At Central Illinois Outdoors with me, Jared White, we want you to be a part of the program as well via the Archer's Alley Catch of the Week. Each week, we'll select one of your pictures submitted at centralillinoisoutdoors.com and invite you to tell your story of the great outdoors. We're looking for your kid's first catch or even your first big buck. There's a simple, easy form you can fill out on your phone or computer at centralillinoisoutdoors.com. Send us your story, send us your pic. centralillinoisoutdoors.com and the Catch of the Week, brought to you by Archer's Alley, North 22nd Street in Decatur.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Landmark of Taylorville, proud to bring you this stream on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com's Facebook. You'll always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust. They put people first. I'm on the phone with Senior Program Naturalist Brock Rowland. He's with the Macon County Conservation District, and he talked a lot about the Fall Harvest Fest and some of his homeschool programs, which you can find on MaconCountyConservation.org. But moving along a little bit, you have your candlelight tour coming up pretty soon, which I know is something that you've offered before. It's a lot of fun, a great way to explore history within the Macon County Conservation District, right, Brock?
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, I love doing the candlelight tour, mainly just because I like to dress up, in period of clothing. So it's really fun to go out there and just see people dressed up kind of in period attire and talk a little bit about what life was back, in 1860s and so on.
Yeah, and so lots to offer there, too. You're going to get to see A couple of different things. You're going to get to walk around. Believe this is at the Rock Springs Conservation Center, is it not?
Yeah, this sure is. Yeah.
Okay.
So right here at our main parking lot, we have a little trail that leads right into our Homestead Prairie Farm, which is pretty neat. We have a old workshop that'll be lit up and with a nice fire on the inside, which is always really cool to see those old wood stoves kind of in action, because you really just don't get to understand how warm you can get with just one of those running. I mean, there'll be sometimes when I'll be doing those events and the wood stove will be so hot in the middle of winter, I'll have to start opening the windows.
You're convincing me to install a wood stove into my house, but I'm not sure
Yeah.
if my landlord would.
Well, it's only one room that it has to heat up.
That's
but,
why. That's why.
But it really is pretty crazy on how hot that it can get. So yeah, it's really fun to go out there and see those old lanterns all lit up, and just the narrative experience is really fun.
Right. It is a narrative experience, like you mentioned. So there are people who work for the Macon County Conservation District, like yourself. They're going to dress up in older attire from the 1860s, and they're going to teach everyone a little bit about what it was like to live there in the 1860s, or maybe even earlier.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Awesome. Registration information, or you just show up?
Yeah, so you can register for this event on the Conservation District for most of our events, but for this particular one, there is no registration required. And we'll also be having refreshments that day as well, all for free.
Fantastic. Anything else that you want to say about that before we move on?
Nope, that's pretty much covers it. It's November 12th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. So this is a little bit later on in the day, but it's really worth it whenever you get to see that cool kerosene lit trail.
Mm-hmm. And the cabin too.
yeah, it really is cool.
Well, you also have a couple of events as part of your wellness series. I don't know if we've had a chance to talk about that. So tell me about your wellness series.
Yeah, so this year, after dealing with COVID for a while, we figured that everybody could use a little bit more wellness. And one way to really feel good is to be out in nature, That's something that we really just take for granted all the time, is nature itself. And really, whenever you come outside and you get that first breath of fresh air, it always puts a smile on my face,
Me too. In fact, that's where I'm going right now, right outside, right after this interview, that is.
Yeah.
So you have a couple of different ways that you're exploring this, including yoga in the pines and also something called forest bathing, back to back on Saturday, November 5th. Tell me a little bit about these.
Yeah, so our Yoga in the Pines is ran by a wonderful volunteer instructor. This is going to be our first one that's in the morning. So this one is going to be November 5th at 9 a.m. And I think this is going to be something that we are going to be trying to offer come the winter months as well. We have a group of really dedicated yoga enthusiasts who just really want to be outside and experience nature while they perform yoga. So if you like to be outside and perform yoga, we're still probably going to be offering this well into winter also. So look forward for that as well. But our November Yoga in the Pines starts at 9, and then right after that, we're going to go into forest bathing. And what that is it's kind of just a meditative experience that encourages you to slow down and really reconnect with the environment around you.
That's fantastic. More information at MaconCountyConservation.org. That's Senior Program Naturalist Brock Rowland. Thank you so much, Brock.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W300 EH Payne and Nokomis.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. Airstrikes have cut power and water supplies to hundreds of thousands of